We'll be in a minute.
That's where Smith said too. In the hot seat.
Oh yeah.
We'll go ahead and call to order the Paintsville Utilities Commission special regular meeting for Thursday, September 8th, 2016. First on the agenda is a roll call. Walter Preston.
Here.
L.B. Lemaster.
Here.
And Mitch Kenner.
Here.
So the next item on the agenda is the initiation of a new commissioner.
Initiation. Installation.
No. Hazing is outlawed, right? No.
Bullying.
Could you stand, Mr. Goggins, please, and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of this Commonwealth and the Constitution of the United States, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute to the best of your ability the office of Utility Commissioner according to law? And do you further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, you being a citizen of this United States, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state, nor out of it, nor have you sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
You're in.
Good morning.
I'm sure he was the second. I don't know about having.
Bob, I told him to make sure. Bob.
Mayor.
I told him to make sure that golf didn't count as a duel there. That he.
Putter's a pretty deadly weapon when you think
Did you
about
see
it.
the two guys in the fairway fighting on YouTube through the golf?
I did see some battle like that.
Yeah, they was,
Moving on. They were fist fighting, right?
Next line on the agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of August 1st.
Motion to approve.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Next on the agenda is the review and approval of the operating report.
Motion approved for the operating report.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Second item on the agenda is the presentation and approval of construction pay requests.
Can we go through those?
Yeah, we'll have to go through each one individually.
We have two invoices on the wastewater plant rehabilitation. The first is from the contractor, Thomas Environmental Contracting, invoice number PE2, $63,216.76. We also have invoice number 6 from Cantech, engineering on the project, $2,254. And Paintsville Utilities is the funding source for both.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay, this next one just came in yesterday on the Route 321 relocation project. Bill Cook Engineering, invoice number 17, $8,485.08. Funding source is Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. I would ask for approval contingent on receipt of funds. We took it out of the mail today for the state.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There wasn't a sheet in this on the first ones we ran through. The one we have right now, the ones.
Oh, I have one. You need one?
I'd love to have one. I keep everything. Here, that works. I've got one. Thank you.
That was changed out later. I just missed that in my packet.
You're our go-to guy because you got all the.
Right.
I've got on shelves box of books and after books of hysteric stuff and this.
Next on the agenda is the departmental reports.
We pay the bills.
Yeah, let's think we ought to pay the bill.
Well, it's right on here.
Six, number 6.
Monthly invoices, that's what we just did, wasn't it?
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm checking it ahead of time. All right, looking over the bills. Anyone got any questions or comments about them?
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I keep trying to save us money. All right, now we look at the departmental reports.
One question, Bob, which one of, oh, excuse me, Mr. Spears, we have Mr. Goebel there. Which one of the authority, did we put the 3-inch in meter?
Down at Plowman.
Okay,
It's their back meter. We've got two. We've got a 4-inch and a 3-inch. And the 3-inch that started going bad and shutting down. And they were claiming they thinking that
curiosity got the cat.
it got Plowman.
I got one comment on the departmental reports. The project that we've got Boca out on Kentucky 321, I've been through there a couple times and I've not noticed any work ahead signs or anything, and they've been pretty close to the roadway. Aren't they required to have some kind of a signage out there to notify the public? Can you kind of maybe try to check on that and see if they're going to...
Check with the inspector on the project.
Because it looked like they have had some pretty close to the edges of the roadway and everything, and a few other issues out there that's come up to my attention. Anyone have any other questions or comments on the departmental reports? If not, we'll move on to number 8, old business, discussing the downtown I&I project.
That's the ongoing issue on the project, needing to adjust the sewer rates. That will be on the agenda for city council again next week. Any guidance this group has, we'd love to have.
Try just that everybody pays the same amount of percentage of the increase.
Are you talking about not doing what Bob's went through and calculated the $4 and then the 15% from there on up? Are you trying to...
Everybody. There'd be no $4, $2, and then the rest pay a percentage. Everybody pays.
Well, that's the way he had it. My understanding, that's the way he had it calculated was, you know, the initial fee was that from up to the 2,000 gallons was going to be $4, and after that it's a 15% increase for everybody else on that pay scale, which ends up being another $2 and something each one. Is that the way it worked out?
It varies depending on how much you're using, because you have that proposal and you have the flat 829, which is the original proposal on a minimum rate.
Which is spread over everybody.
So that one's already been put forward in front of council.
They've both been taken to it.
No guidance for me then.
So they still have to for consideration. They've not taken either one of them up, but both of them have been falling short for a second.
Someone would bring it up and say, bring it forward, nobody seconds it, and it just dies.
Well, that's all we can do.
Any other questions about the downtown I&I project, or? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item number 8, the new business.
Wait a minute, let's still got old business. I mean, we can discuss anything under old business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is old from past,
We've done it before.
huh? As long as it's old business, right?
Well, technically this is a special meeting though.
Yeah.
I mean, if it had just said old business and not in anything, but since it defines downtown I&I as the only old business, we may be restricted.
Okay, so why, let me ask, why is this a special meeting? Because it's a regular meeting, except because it was on a holiday.
Yeah.
So why isn't it just a regular meeting?
Because it's not on the date specified.
Yeah,
And we
rescheduled.
changed it due to the holiday.
Yeah.
That happened to us last time. We had to call it a special meeting. We could only adhere to what was on the agenda.
Would it fall under something above that?
Probably.
Or
Well, maybe, I don't know, new business maybe.
nothing broad enough?
I guess it'll be executive session.
Okay.
All right. First line item on the new business is the sewer line failures. You want to kind of cap those
Yeah,
and
the first one we need to look at is a short line on Walnut Avenue. Serves 4 homes. Since December, at some point in time, all 4 homes have had issues. And we have collapses in our line at each location. After the most recent one, we were trying to determine the exact termination of that line and trying to figure out the overall condition of it. Had the guys go over and smoke test it. We had numerous spots where smoke came up, particularly around the areas where we've done repairs. It seems like we're just kind of passing it up and downstream on that old clay tile line and try to attach something else to it. You know, some of the people that are attached to that line with their homes are here and they're asking for a replacement of that line. It's right at 350 feet.
now the estimate that you quoted, is that something by being bid out to somebody, or is that something
That
at
would
our
be
cost?
a typical bid type of estimate.
But now, if we did it ourselves, though, we could probably get by a little bit cheaper.
Possibly. Rick, you prepared to address some of the concerns if we do it ourselves? Maybe Mike, Mark?
Our, if we do it ourselves, we'd have to buy some equipment, like a laser, for one thing, a bigger excavator, either rent or lease or buy to handle the manholes. We also don't have a shoring box to go down that deep road.
Hmm.
You know, anything over 6 feet deep, you have to have a shore.
Right.
So those are some of the concerns.
So if we bid it, we're looking somewhere between 40 and 45,000.
Based on the numbers and that's just a rough guess or estimate from the engineer.
I was out there during one of those repairs, and it's just such a brittle tile. And when we were trying to see how fast water would come out of it, it was taking 2 or 3 minutes just to travel 100 feet. And it probably the whole thing does need to be replaced, because a lot of the property owners, they were having the problems of it getting there. Each one of them has spent hundreds of dollars to have their own personal lines checked out, and none of those were a problem. So it was pretty much our old line that was collapsing, causing the problem, my understanding. And it's an issue that we just need to take care of. It ought to be an easy fix. It's just a matter of getting the proper equipment and going on with it.
Yeah.
And maybe while we're thinking about this, we need to move on to the next one as well. It's between 10th and 11th Street in the alley, behind Low Cook Engineering, behind Taggart Tire on the other corner. We had a pretty good void. The blacktop just fell out recently. We did ultimately find that line was collapsed there. And we have suspicions, which we hope to check out very soon, that maybe on down the line some more of the same problem.
Any idea how long that trunk line is? Have we got plans on that one? Or
Is that on the map, Rick?
I think it is.
Yeah. You're probably talking similar length on that one. It doesn't run quite the whole block. It originates right behind Tropical Island and Bo Cook.
So we're going to go ahead and try to get the smoke test, and may have to do the.
Yeah, we'll get our smoke machine fixed and actually use it the last couple of days. Get back over and try it.
Do we know if that
I
was?
got more smoke capsules in.
I'm gonna pick them up in the morning.
Do we know if that was as deep? Have we done anything to investigate that, or?
Yes,
Yes.
it's about 14, 15 feet from where they're.
Yeah, in that part of town, 12 foot's pretty common depth. Sewer.
Get as steep as Arlo Excavator Ridge when we're ready to blast out.
Okay.
And you're working on the upper end of it.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna shallow it.
How does the other commissioners feel about looking at these two failed lines?
Let's go for a third one
Third one's a little different situation. If you're talking about the one on here.
on 6th Street.
Yeah. That's one where developer, where they built the houses back around 1970, late 60s. The houses were down below the road, and they were too low to tie into our main sewer line down the street. So they ran them through the front yards, and then tied into our manhole down lower, down the hill. And I think just about everybody there has had some issues on that main line. It's I guess called a coyote pipe.
Yeah.
It collapses from the inside.
How many
How long
homes?
There are either 4 or 5 homes on that. There's 6 houses through there. It's our understanding that the upper end of it actually was high enough it's attached to the old main. And that 5th one out there, I'm not sure.
You got a rough idea how long and possibly depth, or?
Probably talking 250. The depth, I don't know.
I don't think it was real deep, was it?
I wouldn't think it would be because of the situation they had on the elevation.
A couple figures, so it sounds like.
Well, the upper end of it's not very deep at all. And it's actually collapsed in that front yard right now. First house on it.
Okay, now that we've looked at all three, any other commissioners got a comment about them, or what they think about them?
I'll make a suggestion, I'll make a motion that, we do the engineering on these and, solicit bids for all three to where they can be done collectively or individually.
Okay.
And kinda go from there. Guess that gives us a rough ballpark number we're working with for all three projects.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Must be replacement of about the bullet.
Yeah, get it over with.
It makes a lot more sense to group them together, I think.
The 10 might
Push
be
things there.
But meanwhile, I mean, can I ask it?
Public allowed to speak in a special meeting?
I would assume so long as it's got that issue.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Meanwhile, our line is still collapsed. I think it's collapsed under my driveway because all that water, when it collects in the street where they done the blacktop, it runs under my driveway, and there's a big painted area. But what I'm suggesting is, if we have another blockage, it's like I called over the sewer plant, and we can't use your all's machine that we used to use, and we have to call. I had to call Dirty Works to jet mine out. And what I'm suggesting is, can we make some way that we can use the small jetters like we used to do?
Well, I think I can probably address that. If you guys have any problems, call us, and we'll come over and check that main line right off the bat. And then you can go from there.
Right now, Bob, it's standing plumb full,
Where?
right in front of my house.
Holding the clean out there?
Yeah, I mean, I've
and-
got pictures of it, and it's still, I mean, it ain't going.
And I am concerned about where the driveway is and afraid there may be a void there. And it smokes pretty good out of the
And I think that's the only thing that's keeping, I mean, the reason why we can go in and out of my driveway is because the concrete's the only thing that's holding it up, I think.
Void
Gone.
out.
But meanwhile, if mine backs up, Donna's backs up, or my mother-in-law would be in Lawford's again,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, you talking about trying to jet your line from the house to where it's hooked
Yeah,
in then?
we've done that 2 or 3 times before, you know, And then I think last time, well, they didn't know they had a line out front. I think everybody thought sewage went out back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And we've come to an agreement now that there is a line out front and it is a problem.
Which we know that the blockages are probably from our pipes, and once it blocks there, it goes up to their pipes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of retrofit into our problem. And is there any reason we can't use our equipment to, if they have that problem, blow that line out with theirs?
We've got a policy that we don't do it for insurance purposes, but we have done it in the past. But typically, if we do, we get a waiver. We need to get a waiver from the property owners. And if we come in and use our equipment to
They've
do it.
used it, I mean, they've flushed mine out twice before.
Well, actually, when Nick had the problem, his was the first one of the bunch back in December. We got in there and found the issue. I did have him go ahead and run up in his line a little bit, but I had him sign one of those.
Yeah, let's just have everybody over there as long as
If-
we're working on this project to sign a waiver, and if they have an issue, we'll send equipment over there and clean it out.
Just if it happens, call us, and then they'll get the waiver for y'all to sign, and we'll clean it out.
It's just for insurance purposes. That's the reason that we don't do it. If we get a waiver from you, it doesn't.
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, then on the other hand, problems caused by the drain,
Yeah.
the sewage out front, not caused by our problem.
That's why we can bring it over there and
Yeah.
do something about it. They just, well, the insurance is they want you to sign it saying, okay, we're going to use our equipment, it's fine. And then hopefully over time, we'll be able to get this engineered and get the line repaired. Now, how long that'll take, I couldn't answer you that.
That's the only question I had, where we want to continue to have to call Dirty Works or.
No,
another
call
one.
here.
Bonnie called the
Call here.
fans and they charged her $600.
Right, now you need to call
I
here.
think you've been out, what, 2,000?
Almost $1,935 so far. I haven't received it
I was out, I got by the cheapest, 400.
No, you just need to call here, and we'll get the waiver signed and we'll clean it.
But I think Larry and Nick tried to run something and it got stuck under my driveway. It pulled the hose, cut the rubber off of it. So I know it's collapsed under there.
Mm-hmm. Got any other questions on it, Nick, or?
I think there is with smoke, there is a couple of private issues that are fairly minor. So one line does have a break-in apparently by a tree there.
Yeah.
Her yard.
I think there's a clean out there, actually, is what we,
That's maybe a cap broke off or something.
yeah. That's at Bonnie's. That's the oldest house on the city,
Yeah.
and the oldest, that's the first house that was on, and then where I live, and then I think Donna's and then Jim Watford's.
Do we have a minimum depth that line would have to be in, or?
I would say that the main thing we have to concern about is their lines coming out what depth they're at.
Yeah, I'd say mine's the deepest now, because you ran yours pretty shallow out through there, didn't you, Donna?
Yeah.
18 inches or something.
Your line's shallow and
Yeah, I think that goes under the sidewalk and deeper than.
well, yours has got a pretty good drop.
Mine's 4 foot right at the house, and then it goes out to 8 foot at the street.
Okay. No, that's why I was wondering about if we knew the depths of what the houses were, there could be a possibility to not have to put a line as deep as what the current one is, to hook all of them into it and get it to drain to that manhole. But if they're that deep already, then we'll have to do like the bidding and special equipment and stuff. But,
I see Jim's, I don't know how big Jim's is. I wasn't there when they dug it out. I think it's pretty deep too.
It's about 2 or 3 foot, I believe, on that one. Most time we dug out there, the services coming in, the drops was anywhere from probably 2 to 3 foot for most of it, on those particular ones.
so just Nick's is the one that's 8 feet?
I didn't see
The
that
whole,
particular
the line's
line
8
on-
foot out front, and then my line's 4 foot at the house, and then it goes out, which I located it, and it was right at 8 foot right out there.
That's what we're, because I mean, like where those lines are more shallow and then they drop over.
Yeah, I
It's just a
know.
matter if we could raise up that
If you
the old
raise
line.
it up to get it to where you can get like 4 foot, 48 inches or something, then maybe the city can do it and save a lot of money that way.
Right. If we
That
knew
way
those.
wouldn't have to have a shoring box. I know I deal with that all the time. Just,
Well, that's why I mean, as far as something that could be quicker and easier done, not be as expensive. That's something try to look into when we get the engineering done for it, see if we can raise it, because I know there's a gas line in there. I saw it down there. It was a couple feet above the sewer line. But if there's any issues, how close you can be to it, I don't know about that.
You want us to work with Bocook on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a motion about working with Bocook, or
Be best.
Make a motion that the engineering of this project should be Bocook.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So we still call the sewer plant, right? If we have problems or.
They can call the office. That's a good plan. I know where I live.
Or just like, are you coming? Sometimes it's pretty late.
Yeah, but that's it. I'll do it daylight if we can.
Next on the agenda is the acceptance of private water lines.
Yeah, we have a property owner on 321 at Hager Hill who years ago to be able to get water to the residents on his property ran a 2-inch line to serve 6 homes, I believe, in roughly 500 feet. He is asking us to take that line over. We would they need to purchase taps for each of those locations. We put in meters. Our Bobby has looked at it, feels like it's very well done. We've actually got a partially exposed where you can look at it right now.
Well, if we take the line over, should we basically force those people to buy taps? Or should we supply them?
Do it Cross Creek.
It's all on one meter right now?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, they refer to it as an impact fee, don't they?
Not so much on water, I don't think.
And how much is that fee right now?
It's $750.
I wonder if those current residents have $750 to purchase it.
That's one question that John had asked, so we go up there and do it in one trip. We've already got it exposed, get some sort of a break on the 750. But we do have to go in and put an aerator or an air release on the end of it.
In the past, we've allowed the new taps to be split in payments.
We do. You split them over 6 months.
Okay.
So that'll help
Oh, yeah.
ease that burden. One other thing about it, I know the project was supposed to be done this year and it wasn't. It was that 321 high wall project. And that's about where the project ends. Might need to see if Rick can check with Pikeville on where exactly those plans are, where it ties into, to make sure this doesn't impact anything for it.
Well, they were actually supposed to hook in that 2-inch line under this 321 project.
Okay. I just want to make sure we don't have to do more work after the fact if this other job actually goes through.
And don't forget the easements.
Yeah, I think Dave's, you're already looking into that.
We already got these, actually, and the couple came this morning and signed it. I've not signed it and executed it, and approval is this body.
Can I have a recommendation on item 9B then?
Make a motion that we accept the private water line from Bill Preston from the property from Powdition turn off to the American Standard Bridge.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, item 9C, wastewater rehab change orders. Is there any questions as to about these change orders that we approved? Otherwise,
You can put it on record.
Yeah.
can I have a motion then?
I make a motion that we approve the change orders as reflected in 9C.
There are actually two parts to 9C that are mentioned, the second page.
On 9C edition.
Do we need to read those out loud, or?
Probably the absence for application. The first change order is for the addition of one new mixer for the oxidation ditches. We originally ordered 5 and then found out we had one broken that we didn't realize. Cost of that's $28,725. Second item is replacement of all the winches and cable for the mixers, $5,271. And we approved the purchase of 205 diffusers for one of the ditches. It's $2,708.50. And we had to get some adapters for that, $52.15. And the latest thing is for the installation of the diffusers, the extreme cleaning that was required to use that oxidation aeration system, $5,809.75.
Okay, we have a motion then.
Make a motion that we issue the change orders as outlined by Bob.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I do have a question. In terms of the winches that are being pulled out, is that something that we need to deem as surplus property and sale? Is that something that's sellable?
Probably not.
Still hang
Oh, hand crank?
Yeah.
Just like a bigger version of what like a boat trailer would have.
Yeah.
And we really think that the cable on one of those breaking maybe might cause that one mixture to break.
So everything that we're taking out is essentially just garbage.
I don't know if it's worth much scrap metal or.
I think so. Just want to make sure it if something that could be had to be surplus, we didn't run afoul with that.
Would there be much scrap value in that mixture?
Parts of it stainless steel.
You have to strip it and
Yeah.
separate it and all that to do anything with it.
Like in that loss once you did that.
Going on down to item 9D, truck leasing. I got a question on this, Bob.
Sure.
Back when we first did this, didn't we go ahead and approve at least a 2-year on
5
this? Well, we proposed 5, but I thought we only did a 2 instead, and then we were going to revisit at that time.
That's correct. This plan is not to
So is
be
there,
up front, make sure everybody's on board forward, or to move
But I
three
mean,
more of these trucks.
the 2 years aren't up yet?
No, actually, we're just now coming upon the end of the first year.
But it would take 5 years to completely redo the fleet. Is that right?
Redo the
Right.
fleet and actually start realizing the full benefit of this reduced maintenance cost.
But we said we'll do it at least for the 2 years and see how it works. If it's plus minus, what works best for us.
And just to let you know, one of our trucks was taken in for service this morning. It's a 2-wheel drive, I think it's an 08 model, 120-some thousand miles on it. I don't have this discussion with you, but it's one up at Honey Branch. And they checked it out and it needs $1,200 to $1,400 worth of brake work and hub problem on the front end. That's what you get into with these trucks as they get age and miles on.
Can I have a recommendation for the truck leasing program then?
Well, and I think it's proved to be very beneficial to us.
And we've got guys out there in trucks that we know are good, safe, reliable vehicles.
We ran the numbers on it early on. It was a clear cost savings of several $1,000s per year once we got it up and gone through the full 5 years. So we've taken all the old stuff out of service. Again, when we looked at it early on, I thought it was a win-win situation. I haven't seen anything to change my mind on it.
And actually, our action of taking this on created enough attention that it's now endorsed by Kentucky League of Cities, and we just now that's over the state or signing on with it.
I mean, because we already did the 2-year, do we need to go ahead and approve this, or just you're letting us know this and what's going on?
I just put it out there in case anybody had any questions or concerns.
So we don't need to vote on it or
I
anything.
don't think so.
I think it's working great.
One thing, in terms of the new ones, the lighting that you all put on, I think super. You know, you can see everything. I mean, used to, we had vehicles everywhere and let's face it, and the lighting that, as far as pedestrians and people seeing the equipment and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty much non-existent. Now you can, actually you can see everybody coming and going. Plus, you know, the areas of the county that we have to service, it's nice to have equipment that you know that you can get out into those areas and get back home safe.
Absolutely.
Going on to the next item on the agenda is 9E, discussion and consideration of connection fees.
I guess it's a conversation I meant to have with you today, but because you know things got crazy today. We would like to kind of take a look and reconsider some of our commercial fees. And I didn't get the chance to give Rick today the analysis I intended to have for you.
You want to wait and run the numbers when you get it
I
done?
think it'd be good.
You just want to table that one then?
Okay, I make the motion to table,
9E.
yeah, 9E.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now on to 9F, credit card credit card processing proposal.
Yeah, credit card processing has become a pretty significant expense for us. It's increased use, especially with online payments, or phone payments. So I've done some looking. The group that's endorsed by Kentucky Rural Water, I've had some exposure to them. We actually deal with them to some extent now. I do a very good job on security. Around the numbers, we're able to save us about 3%, which is not a huge thing. The bigger thing I'm most concerned about is our payment card industry compliance. That is a big deal, and they're in a very strong position to help us be compliant there.
Are we currently locked into our current contract, or that can be
We should
avoided
be up front of that
anytime?
contract.
Okay, so we can just, if we want to go with this newer one, just go with it, no problem.
We should be able to.
Okay. Have any recommendation for the credit card processing proposal?
Make a motion that we change our card processing to the deal group.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next on the agenda is 9G, tank maintenance.
Yeah, that's something we need to do on a regular basis, is to inspect and clean our tanks. To stay on schedule, we need to try to do 4 or 5 a year. We did that last year, and the process was done using a diver. It was carefully sanitized before you put it in the tank. This year we looked at a different company, Pittsburgh Tank out of Henderson. They use an ROV, where they do robotic inspection and cleaning. Should have the numbers in the packet there.
Could you all determine why cleaning 4 tanks was only $6,800 and 1 tank was $3,250?
The 3250 is a dry clean out rather than a wet clean out. That tank has some damage that needs to be repaired, so I have to drain the tank, go in and clean it, and then also that includes the repair, 2 repairs that you made on it. I've got one hole in it and one it's almost a hole.
Is it a class line?
Does not appear to be. It's a bolted tank, it's not going to be last night.
The robot's just gonna inspect, it's not a cleaning, it's just inspection.
It inspects, and then it's a vacuum cleaning process.
It'll be like a pool cleaner, just kind of cleans the sides and
Very
stuff.
similar, but you, natural process with your water in a tank, you'll get some sediment fill at the bottom, actually gonna vacuum that out.
Is there enough of these groups to do this? Just something we could get, put out for a bid? And see if there's any stark difference between pricing?
So one reason I looked at a different company this year, it was about $6,800 last year to do 5 tanks. This is $6,800 to do 4. But this is all big tanks. So it's probably pretty much in line. But there are also other companies that do this. Some of them don't do the wet cleaning. But we could certainly do that.
I think I'd feel better since there's multiple out there. Let's just run the numbers and make sure that.
Yeah. David, have you read this contract?
I haven't.
No, you have a chance to see it.
I've got some concerns about the language in it.
This is kind of late to the table here.
Will we have much issues on the one that has to be completely drained out and repaired? I mean, will that area suffer much from trying to get the tank filled back up, or?
Not bad. It would probably affect a few people.
Yeah, there's ones right there close to the tank, it'll be 2 or 3 that it might affect while they're doing it. But if it's something they can do fairly quick to get the tank back to fill, then it should be pretty much okay.
That is something that definitely needs to be done on that tank.
Will they just, how will they get rid of the water then? I mean, to clean it out, just,
We'll have to, I'd say we'll have to just not pump that tank prior to them coming in and doing the job. Because the hole's actually about 6, 7 foot in the bottom, so they probably won't have to take the tank to 0. I mean, they can probably keep so much water in it.
But that will actually, they plan on cleaning this one dry process, so they have to get out of that.
Drain,
will we have to catch that water, or is it just,
we'll have to dechlorinate it, but I don't think we'll have to catch it.
Just might as well dump it on the ground.
So we've
Just
got,
wanna
we've
make
got
sure
one
we-
tank that's currently got a blower hole in.
That's the one we're talking about.
And the other one raised it.
We've got it plugged right now with a stainless steel bolt and a rubber washer. But eventually that's going to deteriorate around the threads.
It's showing some rust around the bullet hole, also around the blade. Needs some repair work down there to prevent rust.
can I have a proposal in for 9G?
Motion to table this until we get more bids.
Do we need to put this out as a bid, or just need to get quotes from different companies?
Just get quotes.
Get quotes, okay.
And then we can look at-
Motion to table till we get quotes, and David gets a chance to read this one.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Alright. 9H, Route 40 and Route 1559 bridge replacements.
On Route 40, they're getting ready to relocate a bridge. And they're just asking us to approve an engineer for our relocations on water lines. As we recommended, the vote would be approved for that.
It doesn't say that you can do that unless you get permission first.
We have that permission in this one.
Okay. You getting ready for,
We accept, Bogook Engineering for the engineering work on this project and grant Bob authorization to sign the agreement.
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
You getting ready for 2019 construction summer?
No, they've got the plans already drawn up on the 40, and it's just trying to get everybody in gear and get it started up possibly later this year. Actually started,
Okay.
but the 1559 is a whole nother ballgame.
And on the 1559, we received contracts with the Transportation Cabinet that we need to get executed in David's review. So I need a similar authorization on that.
So moved.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Which one was that?
That's the
1559.
approval to sign the contracts for the 1559. All those in favor?
Yeah,
Opposed? Next line on the agenda is 9I, hydraulic improvements.
This is apparently labeled as 9K on your paperwork there.
9K.
Plans for hydraulic improvement.
Okay.
We have some areas we need to address some hydraulic concerns. And I'm just seeking permission to start an agreement, and enter into it. Enter into an agreement with Bill Engineering to develop plans for combined project to address these multiple areas.
Which we've talked about these in the past.
We have.
So
We actually have some study done on it.
I have a motion.
I make a motion that we grant Bob authority to enter into an agreement with Bell Engineering to develop a plan for a hydraulic study for the areas that he's outlined in 9K.
Second.
That's for us for development of plans.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Last one on number 9K. The Division of Water Quality Concerns.
And that one's labeled as 9I in your packet.
Yeah.
Got them reversed. And it's working late at night. I think Jay went home early this morning or long. Well, I bet the challenge that night. As you all know, we've had to send out multiple notices regarding violations of exceedance of maximum contaminant levels on disinfectant byproduct, HAA5. That's caused a lot of concern with our customers. Paintsville Herald did an article on it this week and did a pretty nice job of addressing that. And it all does relate to the concept following the big flood event last year in the Platte Gap area. Brought a whole lot of organic material into the lake. And that organic material forms a medium for chlorine to react and form these byproducts. I'll step over here.
No, that's up to you. I'm just watching. How about this?
The maximum contaminant level for HAA5 is 0.060. In that third quarter last year, after the flood, when the lake jumped up 10, 12 feet just in a few hours, we hit 0.154. Our highest reading, I saw it was 0.20. So that put us out of compliance for that period. Now, the way they figure that's based on a 4-quarter running average. With these numbers, it put us out even figuring good numbers before. Now, since that, in the fourth quarter of 2015, our highest was a 0.042, which is well under. First quarter of 16, our highest was 0.024, even better. And then again, in second quarter, our worst performing site was 0.024. We're well less than half the maximum contaminant level. But what happens when you run the 4-quarter average and you're judged on your worst site? You can't average the sites, it's the worst site. The site here, went up with an average of 0.070, even though our most recent quarter was 0.018, 0.024. So really, the last 3 quarters, our numbers have been fine. It's just that extreme result a year ago put us out for a year. So unless something drastic happens, we should be fine moving forward. And if you read those notices, it does say individuals exposed to levels above the minimum contaminant level for extended period of time may run a risk, and by extended period of time, they mean a long time, almost the point of a lifetime.
2 liters a day.
At 2 liters a day. We're not allowed, and understandably so, to make comments like that on notices when we send them out. There's one small paragraph in there where we have some ability to change the wording, just primarily to express how you're addressing the concerns. If you saw the newspaper article, Elaine actually spoke to the compliance officer with Kentucky Rural Water, and she was actually very complimentary of our personnel and how they've addressed this and the results we've gotten. I think that's a fair statement, Elaine.
Yes, sir, it is.
So barring another flood, we should be good in the next quarter, right?
Yep. And I understand that this time of year is the time of year you're most likely to get a problem due to temperature factors.
The lake turns over.
That'll become a little later. It's more of a temperature factor, I would think. Which, you know, what you do to help some of this is you maintain your tanks at the minimum level to serve your customers properly, keep your water age at a minimum. Yeah, and we really have stepped up our flushing / wasting program. There are two different ways to use the terminology. To clear again, keep that water age at a minimum. That they do develop over time. At least when water leaves the plant, it's virtually non-existent.
We like fresh water.
So what you're saying is we're safe to drink?
Better be.
I never stop.
That's just tap water. It's tap water. That's usually water.
You just refilled it?
Tap water.
Well, if there's nothing else to discuss then, we'll go on to item number 10, executive session. David, we got reasons for executive session.
Yes. Personnel, property acquisition, and potential litigation, correct? Trifecta.
Make a motion to go into executive session for those three purposes.
Second.
All that old business.
And
Old business.
It's on nature.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And once again, I'd like to ask the supervisors to stay for a moment. A couple of issues here that would involve them. Get them out of the way first so you guys can go home.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Go back into regular session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Just to summarize, or to report out, the commission during executive session gave directives to Bob and I relative to certain properties related to package plants. The commission did make a hire with regard to the water distribution superintendent. The name of that, they're going to wait till the actual parties are contacted and discussed. The commission has voted to post the positions of equipment operator 2, customer service representative, and I think that's it, isn't it? Am I missing? There's certain other personnel decisions about promoting from one level to another that the commission also did. Other than that, that's it.
The package plants, you talk about it?
That did that.
Okay.
Yeah, first thing.
Motion to adjourn.
Uh,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate your patience tonight.
What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to read this?